Harer Nama eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva 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 gatiranyata.
हरे कृष्णा बाबू जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। आज साधु संघ जीओटी लोग के बारे में बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, प्रणाम है। आपका आशीर्वाद चाहिए, क्योंकि आज का क्लास हिंदी में नहीं रहेगा, इंग्लिश में रहेगा, क्योंकि मैं 1.5 years के 1.5 साल के पहले उडुपी में आ गया। आने के बाद हिंदी भूल गया, एक्चुअली कन्नड़ सीखे। इसके लिए थोड़ा क्षमा कीजिए। क्लास हिंदी में इंग्लिश में होगा। प्रभु जी, किसी को कोई किधर भी कुछ डाउट हो गया तो आप स्टॉप कीजिए। हमारे गोपी प्रभु उसको इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेशन कर सकते हैं प्रभु जी, in case somebody did not understand some particular points, so let them interrupt, no problem, so then he can explain in हिंदी प्रभु जी। मतलब मेरा इंग्लिश हिंदी में क्लास नहीं, इतना अच्छा हिंदी नहीं, इसलिए मैं सोचा आज इंग्लिश में क्लास करता हूँ। आपको क्षमा कीजिए सबका। मैं मंगलाचरण प्रभु मंगलाचरण करके बाद में क्लास में जाएगा ना।
या प्रभु, या
चलो वील डू द मंगलाचरण। मेरा आवाज बराबर सुना दे रहा है ना सबके लिए?
यस प्रभु, या परफेक्ट।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददान्ति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सागण ललिता श्री विशाखांतांश। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरे श्री नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्ण भक्त रूपा स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्त्याख्यं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। नाम चिंतामणि कृष्ण चैतन्य रस विग्रह पूर्ण शुद्धो नित्य मुक्तो अभिन्नता नाम नामिनो। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृताद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमस्तु मत्ते भवति नैष्टिके। श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणममलं यद्वैष्णवानां प्रियं तस्मिन् परमहंस एकम् अमलज्ञानं परं गीयते। तत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं नैष्कर्म्यम् आविष्कृतं तत् शृण्वातरस्फाटनं विचारणपरो भक्त्या मुच्ये नरः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगं लङ्घयति गिरिं कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणीं। परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वर नमो विष्णुवे कृष्ण श्रीमती जय पताका स्वामी नामिने। नमाचार्य पादाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिनि गौरवदादाय। हरि ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। So welcome everybody. Today's very interesting section actually. It is Srimad Bhagavatam, the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. It goes almost 3 cantos. And Vidura's qualities, he was such a wonderful devotee. Without Krishna, he doesn't talk anything else. He always wants to talk only about Krishna. So when great Muni Rishi Maitreya came, Maitreya is like, he was Vyasadeva's very close associate. And he was, Maitreya is the one very special privilege. Maitreya and Uddhava. They were very privileged because when the Krishna departed this world, and he was along with them, Krishna. And that's why when Vidura met Uddhava, that means when Mahabharata Yuddha started, he straight away went to the forest. He was in pilgrimage mission because he was insulted by Duryodhana. That time he met Uddhava. And Uddhava told the story about the Krishna departed from this world. That time, many years passed actually. That time Vidura felt very, very sad. He wanted to know more about Lord Krishna. And Buddha, is a so humble devotee of Lord Krishna again. He directed him to Rishi Maitreya. So now discussion will take between Maitreya and Vidura. Such a wonderful discussion, and they want to know more about creation and all the stories of the Vamshas, all the various personalities, various devotees. By that time, the story started. Prathamaraj, the stories you already heard, Srimad Bhagavatam. Then it's great children, they are Prachetas. Prachetas' father is Pachinamari, and there are 10 Prachetas are there. And the Prachetas, sorry, I got the same class again tomorrow actually. That's why I started this one. I little bit deviated. And here, the Devati and this one, Kardama Muni. So here Kardama Muni is a son of Brahmaji and he is given very nice responsibility of increasing population. Progeny, he was advised to take care of populations. And at the same time, it's one of the great personalities. Why it is great? Because he's being a son of Brahmaji, and he did both the works. That is, one side is continued devotion. At the same time, he has carried forward his father's instructions. For example, when you take the story of Narada Muni and 4 Kumaras, they did not take care of this increasing the population. They totally said, no, you don't want to involve all this family matters, everything. You want to remain brahmachari forever. But Kardama Muni like that. He is such a great obedient son of the Brahmaji. At the same time, he was also a great devotee. And after that, he got married with the Manu. Manu's daughter is Mother Devavati. And Devavati is such an extremely beautiful girl. And she's also married Kardama Muni. But Kardama's speciality is, as soon as he got married, and he continued his devotional service. He's not at all interested in family life. Like that, many years passed. But at the same time, the Devavati is such a chaste wife. She continued serving her husband without any expectation. And one day, Kardama Muni came out from his deep meditation. He saw Devavati become very weak, and she was shapeless. And then she felt very, very compassion for her. She's a daughter of Manu, and she's a prince, and then she has struggled so much and serving so nicely, and he wanted to fulfill her wishes. And Devati, being a woman, she wanted to serve her husband, and she had desire to have her own children. Then immediately what Kardama Muni did, she had also desire to have her own house also. And Kardama Muni, he got a lot of power, and she just did an aerial mansion, like, modern, you can call it as like, A380 big aeroplane, he did it in the sky. It has got all the facilities, a lot of gardens, lot of lakes, and, wonderful environment. And, on top of that, he made her such a beautiful woman back. He told her to take bath in Bindu Sarovar. She regained her all original beauty, and he himself got transformed into such a beautiful, handsome man. And then he got 9 daughters, married to 9 Rishi Munis. After that, he was about to leave Kardama Muni. The Devati expresses one more desire. Actually, it said that in Shastras, the woman should be protected by her father until she get married. After that, should be her husband. And after that, her own sons. So here what happened, she didn't have any son. And she requested again Kardama Muni. By that time, Brahmaji comes. And Brahmaji told her in advance, don't worry, we are going to get Supreme Person of Godhead as your own son. That son name is Kapila Deva. In fact, this story comes in other chapters. At the same time, the Supreme Son that comes in the previous chapters, chapter 24, that sloka number 18. He says, Esha manavite garbham pravishtam kaitabardhanam avisham samchaya grantim chittagam vicharishyati. He says, Esha manavi. Manavi means that is son of Manu. That is a devotee. It says, your Garbha, who is entered, Pravisha Kaitabardhana. Kaitaba person, the demon called Kaitaba was killed by Lord Vishnu. So he'll come as your own son. What is the purpose he comes? Avidya Samchaya Grantim Chitva. That means he'll going to remove all ignorance, avidya, and also all the doubts, Samchaya. And also Grantim Chitva. That means he'll cut off. The word cut off is very important. That means he's going to remove the all the ignorance and also doubts of devotee, and same, and he says that person is going to be born with that purpose. And after that, she got the son as son as Kapila Deva, and same time, moment he got the son, that Kardama Muni got very much aware of what his duties, his responsibility of life. He just left his mother in his son's care. And he also knows, son is not an ordinary person, he is a supreme person of Godhead. His name is Kapila Deva. And Kardamuni left his, again went back to his own duties. That means just imagine the quality of the Kardamuni. He did not involve, just to perform his duties as an obedient son of Brahmaji. He created nine daughters, one son. The 9 daughters again married to 9 different rishis, like Vashishta and Atri and like that. And after that, then these children, they continued the family, the progeny, they continued, these daughters. So after that, the Devati now, she started her son as, same, bhava of, motherly affection was there. But over a period of time, she developed a lot of frustration. What is this? What mistake I did it? That if you see the sloka number, these chapters, we just heard in the last 3-4 days back. She was, all the slokas she was expressing all her, frustration. What I did, I just wasted my time. I had such a wonderful husband, such an elevated soul, and highly, wonderful devotee. But I did not take the advantage of devotee association. I just asked him, fulfill my material desires, having children and all these things. I just had a lot of things, gratifications. And, she was repenting. And basically, she was repenting. And she said, being a son, remove all my, he's telling Kapila Muni, being a son, dissipate, darkness and ignorance of my universe. And he says, due to my false ego, yesterday's class, due to false ego, I have been engaged in by your Maya and identified myself with the body and consequent body relations. Now she's feeling something bad. She is feeling bad. So after that, this type of situation comes. Now this sloka number 11. The sloka number 11, she wanted to know more about the self-realization. That is the concept of self-realization. We call it, Hindi, we call it Atma Shashvatkar. She wanted to know about that. Who is Purusha and what is Prakriti? And she wanted to know what is the connection between them. And why the people, they misunderstood what is the role of their life. They're supposed to be, what is the certain dharma they have to follow. They misunderstood dharma and they did something else. As a result, they have been entangled in the material conception of the life. They have been, samsara bandhan. They kept in samsara bandhan. And then she wanted to ask this question. Today's class is based on this chapter number, sloka number 11. And how to cut off, that is an important word. That is kutaram, they say. That means how to cut off this family relationship. So this word cut off is very important by acts. This word also very important, acts. And what is the purpose of cut off? She wanted to come to get rid of all the material conception of life, and she was more focused on the self-realization. Ultimately, attain the Supreme Person Godhead, the love of the Godhead. So now we'll recite the today's sloka. Tamta gataham sharanam sharanyam tadbratya samsara tharo kutataram jnasyaham prakati purushasya namami saddharma vidam varishtam tam tvam gataham sharanyam sabhratya samsara tharo kutaram Jijnasayaham prakate purushasya namami saddharma vidam varishtam. Yes, she says, tam tam gataham sharanam sharanyam. I am surrendering. That is sharanam. I am surrendering to you. Whom she is Sharanyam, the person who is worthy of surrender. That is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sa pratya samsara taro utaram. That means she says, I am samsara taro. Samsara taro. Taro means that tree. I want to cut off this tree. That kutara means cut off. That is kudali. You want to cut off this kataram, the tree of this samsara bandhan. And jijnasam. That means jijnasam. That means she wants to have jijnasa. What is jijnasa? She wanted to know what is this prakriti, what is purusha, and she wanted to get rid of this one. At the same time, namami saddharma idam viristam. That means I am bowing down to you. I am taking shelter of you, and I want to understand what is this. Basically, she wanted to have knowledge of self-realization. So your translation, it says like that. Anybody would like to repeat the translation in Hindi so that they get the proper understanding?
No, it's okay. You can read in English, Prabhu.
Okay. No. I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you are the only person of whom to take the shelter. Here the acts, that is Kudali, Hindi, which can cut the tree of material existence. I therefore offer my obeisance unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists, and I inquire from you as the relation between the man and woman, between the spirit and matter. This is exactly the relation, man and woman, and spirit and matter. The spirit is Atma, and matter means that all the Prakriti. So here, purport by Srila Prabhupada. I will not go to the read purport once, but I'll go on explaining purport point one by one because I noted in all the purports, each and everything. So no need to read the purport. It's meanwhile I read explaining the point. I read the purport also. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. And Sankhya philosophy is well known, deals with the Prakriti and Purusha. What is called Sankhya philosophy? Now she is asking about the philosophy is called Sankhya philosophy. Like you got the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam is there. In the Bhagavatam, one of the greatest, one of the jewel of Srimad Bhagavatam is Sankhya philosophy. Is given by the Supreme Lord himself. His name is Kapila Deva. And here we can understand, that great personalities, you can see various personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam, and they act like, all the ignorant. Like how Devati. Devati, she's acting like a ignorant person. She's confused and she's in distress. And like how Arjuna had same distress. Arjuna had same distress, and as a result of discussing with the Lord Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita came out. Same time, the Parikshit Maharaj, he was also great distress. He was feeling very guilty, putting the snake on his neck of the Shamika Muni, feeling great guilty. He said, I'm deserve person to get the punishment. That's what he's feeling. And as a result, Srimad Bhagavatam came out. So this is one of the specialty of our spiritual world, spiritual life, wherein the difficulty comes to everybody. The material world, difficulty comes to everybody. Whether a devotee, non-devotee, great devotee, exalted devotee, everybody gets difficulty. But if you understand how the difficulty comes, here, for example, how the understanding of the difficulties, for example, the one person is not in Krishna conscious, he gets the difficulty. But same time, that difficulty comes due to his prarabdha, that means karma. The past life karma and present life karma, he gets the difficulties of the life. He has to undergo a lot of turbulence in his life, and he finds it very difficult to come out of it. Same time, when the difficulty comes to the devotees who are practicing devotees, like Krishna conscious devotees who are practicing, who follow for regulative principle, chanting holy name of the Lord, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, they also get difficulties. But thing is that for their difficulty comes because that comes for purification of their existence. They get difficulties. Then Lord gives the difficulty for their purification. That means some little bit karma left out, difficulty, little bit their previous vasana left out. So that you should get rid of this one. That's why they get difficulty. But they take it difficulty as Lord's mercy. So there is a difference between devotees and non-devotees. The non-devotees get the difficulty, they cannot tolerate, and they start blaming each and everything. Same time, the devotee get difficulty, they don't blame anybody, they take Lord's mercy. Same time, the Paramahamsas, great devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, the Parikshit Maharaj, Arjuna, and now in this case, Mother Devati, she's gone through a lot of problems, a lot of distress. And why they come distress? Because it's all Lord's arrangement. Basically, Lord wanted to give something for the future generation, for the Kali Yuga people. That's why he used these great personalities like Arjuna, Parishit Maharaj, Mother Devati, for all these purposes. They get undergo difficulties, but at the same time, Lord give the proper. He wanted to give something for the Kali Yuga people. That's why the Bhagavad Gita came out. That means Arjuna did not. It doesn't mean that Arjuna did not know about the Atma and the soul and everything. He was knowing everything. In fact, he prepared 14 years for the Yuddha. He was knowing very well. Kaurava party, Guru going to fight. I'm going to face my own grandfather, Kripacharya, everybody. He was knowing that one. But still, he accumulated so much arsenals, so much Astra, Shastra, everything. Ultimately, when the Yuddha about to start, he was bewildered. Because suddenly become compassion, he lost his mental, Karpanya dosho, bhavato svabhava, prachamidam sarma samuda cheta. He is asking Krishna, give me, accept me as my guru and give me my mind. I cannot decide which is good, which is bad. And Parishit Maharaj also same case. He was not able to tolerate, some trusty, the feeling trusty, Same time, when I joined Krishna Maharaj at the beginning, I heard about Srimad Bhagavatam, Parishit Maharaj. I was just wondering, we are keeping Nirjal. Why Parishit Maharaj could not tolerate, it's a small trust, he was being trusty. Why could not tolerate? Outcomes, we are keeping Nirjal for more than 24 hours, we are feeling proud of that time. But the real fact is that, this all arranged by Lord Krishna. The same Parishit Maharaj, when he started hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, he was a total Nirjal. Not only Nirjal, he was totally not sleeping also. Just imagine, not on top of that, you're so curious, the way questions asked one by one, the Sridhar Goswami started praising so much. He said, he is such a great Rajarshi, he's such a, because of your questions, I'm getting more and more encouraged to talk about Lord Krishna. This is what, the Sridhar Goswami is telling. And later on, Parishit Maharaj also started glorifying, all the devotional service, Niratata Shi Opagi Amanam, Bhavaushada Roga Manobi Ramat, that means listening Krishna Katha is like Bhavaushada, is a medicine for all the problems in the material world. Like that it says. Now Devati also asks questions, but doesn't mean that she didn't have any knowledge about the Purusha and all these things. Because the Lord makes her to come to that stage. Because she is being a daughter of the Manu. Manu is like, such a great personality, and his daughter, she's also very qualified, and she knows everything, all the intricacies of Dharma she knows. But still, this particular moment, the Lord make her to ask these questions. So that, you want to give the Sankhya philosophy, which is a totally proper understanding about all the Jiva Tattva of the 24 elements, all the Purusha and Prakriti, and, by very deep understanding about the devotional service, the Kapila Deva gives to the Mother Devati. It all comes in philosophy. If you start on sloka number 12, 13, 14, you can go into listen, for chapter and chapter about the Sankhya philosophy. So this is what the Devati's role actually. But understanding all these things, let me read something about now purport. The purport says that she wanted to know who is Purusha, and Purusha is basically Supreme Person of Godhead. And Supreme Person of Godhead called Purusha. And at the same time, the Prakriti means all is nature. The nature means, or the Prakriti means, the Bhagavad Gita sloka. That anybody knows the sloka, the 9.4? It talks about Prakriti. I'll give the clue. Bhumi, starting with Bhumi.
Yeah, is it that
Bhumi Rapo?
Bhumi Rapo Analo Vayu Amano Suddhi Devata Amikala Yamme Binna Prakriti Ashtada.
Yeah, it's the same sloka says. It talks about Prakriti. In Binna Prakriti Ashtada, that means it's separate from the Lord. Not created, but is not a part of the Lord. It's separate from the Binna Prakriti Ashtada. So here, the Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, the Panchabhutas are there. And plus, Mano Buddhi, that Ahankara, your mind, intelligence, and false figure. Then Hankara. This is all a part of the Prakriti. And this is exactly the Prakriti means. At the same time, but who is Purusha? The Purusha means, basically the Purusha means in the whole creation, there's only one Purusha, that is Supreme Person of Godhead, Lord Krishna. He is the only Purusha. And each and everybody is a Prakriti one. They are like a female, all everybody. But here, what happens when you come to the material world, and because every living entity, is something called Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. Para Prakriti means the Bhumi Rapo Analava, that is a lower grade. And Apara Prakriti means that is a higher grade. That you can see in Bhagavad Gita Sloka 7.5, Apreyam Tastvanyam Prakatim Vidhi Me Param Jiva Bhuta Mahabhava Edam Dharete Jagat. That means, apart from that, besides this, Para Prakriti, there is something called Apara Prakriti. What is that? Besides this, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises living entities who are exploiting the resources of the material inferior nature. That means there is one person who is called Purusha. Actually, not real Purusha, but he is he wanted to become Purusha. Like his imitation. He is imitating Supreme Lord. All the living entities who have taken the birth in this material world, they are imitating Supreme Lord, and they are taking the role of the Purusha. And what they want to do, they want to lord it over material nature. That means they want to enjoy this Apara Prakriti. That means Bhumi, Rapo, Anula, Vaya, Kamuna, Buddhireva, all these things, you want to enjoy it. And this is called Apara Prakriti. So at the same time, it said that, who is the real enjoyer? As I said, is Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Anybody like to recite Bhagavad Gita 5.29? Bhoktaram.
Yajna tapasa sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhodanam jnatva mam shanti mrichati.
That means each and everything. That means a person is full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. That means Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. That means ultimate all the sacrifice and austerities. Who is the ultimate enjoyer? That is Supreme Lord Krishna. Who is he? He is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is all the Prabhupada writes, he is like Supreme Lord of all the planets and demigods. And he is a Surudanam Sarvabhutanam. That is a very speciality of the Lord. He is called Surada. Surada means, Srila Prabhupada writes, he is the benefactor and well-wisher. Srila Prabhupada is benefactor as well as well-wisher of all the living entities, and attains the peace from the pangs of the material miseries. So this is one of the very, very special quality of the Lord Krishna. He is a Surudanam Sarvabhutanam. Like that, recently I just remember incidents, recently, the Delhi, the court has said it should, catch out of all the stray dogs and put in somewhere else. So many people start protesting about this, why dogs, they're like, innocent living entities. You should not punish them. They're showing a lot of compassion for the dogs. At the same time, their compassion is only for the dog, not for the fish and other meat, other cow and goat and all this. Their compassion only for the dogs, not for others. These people, they cannot call it a Surudanam Sarvabhutana. That means their compassion is very limited. But Lord is not like that. Each and every living entity. Sarvabhutan means each and every living entity, whether it's a man or a tree or it is a animal, whoever it is. They're all Surudanam Sarvabhutanam. It's all Sarvabhutanam. That means Lord is well-wisher of each and every living entities. The well-wisher is very important word. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, when he writes the letter to all his disciples, and he always used the word, you're ever well-wisher. You must have read this, some of the letters. So this is a specialty about Srila Prabhupada. He is also well-wisher of everybody. That means well-wisher means not only is the well-wisher of your material body, he is also well-wisher of your spiritual body. You want to elevate due to the higher consciousness, so that you want to make everybody devotees. Basically, this whole this Purusha and Prakriti, that one is enjoyer, another is enjoyed. Prakriti is enjoyed and Purusha is enjoyer. But actually, if you see our position in each and every living position is Ekela Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhratya. Chaitanya Charitamrita says it. That means Ekela Ishvara Krishna. It means Supreme Lord, the only one. Ara Sabha Bhratya. You're all Bhratya means you're all Dasana Dasana Dasa. Jivera Sarupe Nityera Krishna Das. You're all Dasana Dasana Dasa. So this is a concept you should understand. At the same time, when it comes to the Prakriti and Purusha, you should understand Ishopanishad says, Ishyava Siddham Sarva Yatkincha Jagatya Jagat Tena Taktena Munjita Matkrita Kaste Svisanam. It means Ishopanishad very clearly says, every animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. That means Lord is the real controller, real owner, and real enjoyer, real proprietor. He is on everything. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself and which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. That means man is very greedy. Man is very greedy. So Ishopanishad says, if you put one sack of the grains in the road, what happens? All the birds will come. They take only how much they want to eat. Only that when they eat, then go away. They fly away. Same time, the human being comes, he take the whole that sack of the rain, take it home, because you want to preserve it for for so many years. So like that, we just think we are the proprietor of the whole universe. Actually, we are just very tiny proprietor. You're very insignificant proprietor. Actually, you don't have any control over so many things. Forget about the so many other things in the material world. Your own body. We think we are the proprietor of this body, but you don't know how many problems are inside the body. There is a time bomb kept in so many various parts of the body. Like one time bomb liver, one time bomb in your heart, one time bomb in your brain. As a result, people become old, suddenly get brain stroke, heart attack, liver failure, kidney failure. Because the time bomb is now blasted. Like that, our body it's a very what you call a perishable body. Same time, this body is called comes under Prakriti. That means one should understand what exactly Prakriti and who is exactly Purusha. So this understanding comes under Sankhya philosophy actually. So that's why Upanishad, that what sloka I said is sloka number 1. The Srila Prabhupada gives very nice example. Example is everybody makes the big buildings, and then they think we are the owner of these huge buildings. In Bombay, you can see lot of sky towers, huge. And at the same time, the real purpose is actually what is your owner of this? You are not the owner of this building. You are just a owner of the labor charges you paid to make the construction of the building. So building construction, you need iron, you need cement, you need mud and everything. So this all comes from the Lord. So what he did, he just taken the things from the Lord and he paid the money for the labor. That means engineers, contractors money paid. And he is just the owner of that labor money paid. Basically, the building belongs to the Supreme Lord. So this is what exactly it says. Now here, the mother Devati, she surrendered to the Supreme Lord. Sharanam Sharanyam. Sharan to Supreme Lord. And this is one of the important points. In here, you can see many places, spiritual life. A lot of our Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can see many devotees, they surrender to Supreme Lord. But they come to that is a surrender level. But same time, they know who is the Supreme Lord and they surrender in a full extent. And in case of another Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, such a wealthy person, everything was there in his with him, and he surrendered to the Supreme Person Godhead and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But before that he tried many times, meet Chaitanya. He was totally unsuccessful. At last, in Paniati place, he surrendered to Nityananda Prabhu. Through Nityananda Prabhu, he got the Chaitanya Prabhu's mercy. The same way, you can see Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they are very wealthy ministers. And they're all surrendered to the Lord Supreme Lord in Ramkeli. How they surrendered? They surrendered, keeping the straw in their teeth and going down, holding their, binding their hand behind, and they surrendered to the Lord Chaitanya Prabhu. Chaitanya Prabhu hugged them, and give all his mercy to them. The same way, overall devotees, you can see many examples, they are all surrendered to Supreme Lord and they perfect their life. Like that, in our life also, we should also surrender to the Lord Supreme Lord. But the thing is that, but because of material forces, material energy, it always keeps away from the Lord. It makes us to forget. That's why you should always make sure that make sure that Smartaya Svasatam Krishna, Vismartaya na Jatuchit. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So that is what should fall in your life. Same time, purport further says, Dharma is sometimes translated as religion, but that is not exactly the meaning. Dharma actually means that which one cannot give up, that is inseparable from him, oneself. That is, what is dharma? Something which cannot give up. For example, the dharma of water is flowing. You cannot separate from the flowing propensity from the water. Same time, sugar propensity want to be sweet. The same way, all the living entities, dharma is to serve the Supreme Lord. That is, one or another is serving. If you see anybody, you cannot say, I'm not serving anybody. They are serving family members, or serving the society, or serving the other. Nowadays, new trend is that they're serving the dog and cats. So like that. So this is a new trend. That means everybody is one or another way they are serving. But Mother Devati says, I want sadharma. I want to follow my sadharma, that is eternal occupation. That means, what is eternal occupation? Save Pumsha Paro Dharma, Yato Bhakti Adoksha Jay. That means all the yielding Pumsa, all the living entities, what is the ultimate dharma? Is Yato Bhakti Adoksha Jay. That means you should serve the Supreme Person of Godhead. That is Adoksha. That is beyond all our mental, all sense perceptions. This is called Adoksha. So that Adoksha, so how you have to serve? Haituki aprahitaha. That means it should be costless, without any desire. You should serve the Supreme Lord. And how you to serve? It should be uninterrupted. unmotivated and unlimited devotion service, one has to do the Lord. That's why when the human body got it, that very precious body. It's not some ordinary body. So this is after so many millions of the birth, transmigration of the spirit soul. We don't know how many births you have taken, but ultimately you got the human birth. But human birth you got very, very special facilities. You got special things. The dharma vitesham adhiko vishesha dharma hinam pishivi samana. That means you got special power where which we can understand what is good, what is bad. You got special intelligence, and ultimately you can understand what is the purpose of human life. That is Atata Brahma Jignasa. You should be render thanks to the Supreme Lord, and you should inquire what is why I am taken this birth, why I got this human purpose life has given, why you got better facilities compared to others. Like Srila Prabhupada gives the example, like High Court judge and High Court clerk. Like in High Court judge, you got very good facilities. You can go in the very special car driven by the driver, and you got special bungalows, and in the timings, very limited timings. You come to the court for at least 3-4 hours, then goes back. And you got all the facilities, and you got a lot of respect, and whatever he says, that will become a law. But at the same time, the person working as a clerk, he doesn't have any other facilities. He just comes to work day and night, work more than 10 8 hours, and staying in ordinary family, ordinary house, no facilities. Same way, the High Court judge is like, a human form of life. You got a lot of facilities, and you got very comfortable life, and we should use this life for the realizing Supreme Person of Godhead. That means you do your material duties at the same time. You should not forget what is the ultimate purpose of life. So for example, you're sitting in the train, and you got AC ticket, first class AC, sitting very nicely, and you're enjoying the nice breeze and looking nice seat, sofa seat, and everything. At the same time, so think about the train did not start, and train is standing there only. 1 hour finished, 2 hours, then does he feel comfortable by sitting in the AC? No, because you want to reach his destination. That's what is the main purpose. The same way, everybody should, but getting human form of life, and we should not misuse it for self gratification. And in fact, Rishabhadev says his own children, that nunam pramatya kurute vikarma yatindriya pritaya pranoti na sadhu manne yata atmanoyam asannapi kleshata asadeha. He says everybody got this material body because they want to enjoy it. When the process of enjoying, they become pramatta, nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. They started doing all the vikarmas. They become mad after this getting this body. They are mad after sense enjoyment. At the same time, we got this body, because of our past karmas, past vasanas, we have been awarded this material body. Srila Prabhupada writes the same word like that. Actually, the living entity should not have taken the material body, but he has been awarded the material body for self gratification. You have been awarded like a gift. Okay, take this material body for this, like that. So, therefore, the intelligent person, that is, who is intelligent, na sadhu banne yata atmanoyam. Who is intelligent? He says, therefore, I think you should not be befitting an intelligent person to involve yourself again in the activities of the sin gratification, by which he perpetually gets the material bodies one after another. That means the intelligent person should understand you got the human body, but should be nicely, one should use it for good purpose. And like that, the word self-realization is very interesting. We are talking about the Atma Shashvatkara. Our one of our Bhakti preacher, his name is Atul Krishna Prabhu. He is Radhanath Swami disciples, and he is presently in Noida as a temple in charge. And he was given very nice formula, And I really appreciate it. It's very simple what he put. What exactly self-realization? He says the first one is you should understand here a spirit soul. By reading Bhagavad Gita, you can understand your spirit soul. And same time, that is the first step. Second step is you should understand there is something called Supreme Person of Godhead. It is called Paramatma, and Paramatma is the owner of the soul. That is the second step. And third step is you're a living entity, you're a soul. And second step, there's something called Paramatma. And third step, that also Bhagavad Gita says, Mamayamcha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. You are eternal part and parcel of me. You should understand this one. That means there is a Jivatma is there, Paramatma is there. There is a very strong relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma. I'm Bija Prada Pita. He says, I'm the seed-giving father. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. That means he is a real father. And he is a mother also. Pitam asya jagata mata data pitama. I am the father, I am the mother, I am pitama, I am the also caretaker. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita again. That means when you understand this relationship, then your work is not stopped. That means you should understand your soul, spirit soul, you should understand who is Supreme Lord, and there's a relation between the soul and the super soul. So if you stop there itself, then you become Mayavadi. That's what he says. That means you want to merge with the super soul. Okay, I belong to Supreme Lord. Okay, let me merge with the Supreme Lord after my leaving this body. Then you become Mayavadi. That is called Advaita philosophy, Shankaracharya's Advaita philosophy. But again, what Vaishnava believe, there is a fourth step. The fourth step is, once you understand your part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, what you do? You have to render loving devotion service to the Supreme Lord. That means it should be Ananya Bhakti, you should give to the Supreme Lord. When you do serve the Supreme Lord, then you are a Vaishnava, you become devotee of the Supreme Lord, then you go to the place called Vaikuntha Loka, you can go to the Golok Vrindavan. So that's why it's very important to understand what is exactly self-realization. By just reading this, okay, I'm not a self-realized person. I know I'm a spirit soul. I know I am there is a Lord, and there is a relationship between me and Lord, and you have to render service. By knowing this one, by the jnana, by knowledge, you're not a self-realized person. The self-realized person, what he does, he just act on the platform of the Atma. That means he's a now. That means he's never lament for losing something, or he never get happiness by gaining something. That means Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. That means he no desire, no happiness and no sad. He's always steady. Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna position will be there. At the same time, he knows very well this body is very temporary, and he knows very well this body is there as long as Atma is there. At the same time, he knows this belongs to the Supreme Person of God. This body belongs to the Lord. I am not the owner of this body. I am just a caretaker. This sort of understanding the person's self-realization person gets, and he knows who is absolute truth. What knowledge elevate me to understand what is absolute truth, who is Brahman, who is Paramatma, who is Bhagavan. All this knowledge he knows very well. At the same time, he knows his constitutional position perfectly well. It's a very important point. He knows what is the constitutional position. His constitutional position is Jivera Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. And on top of that, he started working on that platform. So this is an important point. And after that, we already saw, of course, Srila Prabhupada gave a very nice purport about how the Jiva Prakriti, how the material world is compared to the banyan tree. How the banyan tree is so much complex, so much complex banyan tree. And Uddhamula Madhav Shakam, Ashtottam Patiravayam. You have to get rid of this by understanding proper knowledge. And what is the knowledge? Is Asanga Chatrena Dredena Chitva. That means you need the weapon. What is the weapon? Weapon is nothing but knowledge. When you get the supreme knowledge, that is called weapon. By using this weapon, you can cut the tree of the material existence. That is cut the tree of desires. That the sloka says, that 15.1 to 3. He says there is a tree in the spiritual world and material world. Material world is just reflection of the spiritual tree. Why the reflection comes? There is a water is there. Because of water, you can see the reflection. The water is representing the desires. When you get out of all the desire to enjoy the material world, then you can know what exactly the tree. That is, you can understand the world, understand the Vedas. You can cut off this material tree. And coming back to the cutting of relationship, you can see the Kunti Maharani prayer, wonderful prayer Kunti Maharani says, and he says, Ata Vishesha Murte Saketume Sneha Pasham Idam Chindi Dadam Pandasya Vishnu. So that means she says, Ata Visheshatma, that means she glorifies the Supreme Lord in Lord of Universe. And he says, Sneha Pasham, I am born with the Sneha Pasham. That means the Sneha Pasham means your close affection between family members. Overall family members for Kunti Maharani, one is Pandavas and the other is Vrishni. Vrishni means our paternal side. Pandavas, our own family members. So she says, cut off my relation between these two family members. So that, I can only focus on your devotion service. Like how the Ganga flows towards the ocean very fast, like that my mind flows only one direction without looking here and there. I would just engage in devotional service so that I don't want any disturbance on the path. That is what are the disturbance? My relationship between the affection between the family members. Like Srila Prabhupada also writes, it's a very nice point he writes. That is the mood of Srila Prabhupada. He writes, to cut off all family affection means to broaden the field of activities. Because unless and until you have become a great devotee, you want to cut off this relationship. Actually. That means you may be among your family members, but the attachment should not be there. That position should be there. That means Srila Prabhupada writes, without doing this, that means without cutting off family affection and broaden your field of activities, no one can be qualified as a Brahmana, a king, a public leader, a devotee. To become a devotee or public leader, a king, to a Brahmana, then you have to cutting up this relationship, very important. And he gives an example of how Lord Ramachandra cut off the relationship. And because you want to be ideal king. Ideal king, you have to cut off a relationship. Like that, you can see the overall the good king, good country's prime minister. Normally you see they are they're totally dedicated to the service to the serving the king, like serving the country. Like that, a Brahman also like that, and also a devotee or a public leader. Affection should not be there. Then what happened? Moment affection is there, then they started all the nepotism will start. He started making money, and he started misusing his position. So all things start one by one. And here, therefore, sometimes experience that the Lord also cut off his relation, cut off things, which the devotee got so much attached. Sometimes, the devotee got so much, sometimes, even the good devotee, but he got some attachment. But what Lord did us, and he cut off that attachment. Like one story comes in Vrindavan, there is one old man was there. And he had only one property. He had a very poor person. Only property he had one cow. So that cow is giving the milk for him, and that milk he used to sell and he used to make some money. One day sitting in the satsang, he heard some speech in somebody else. He says satsang, the preacher was telling the Lord is satisfied. By patram pushpam phalam toyam ema bhaktya prayachati. Just offer little flower, Lord will be little water, and the Lord will be satisfied. And suddenly he got desire. And I got nothing else in my hand. I get some little milk from the cow. So let me offer Lord Krishna. And he took the Lord milk and went to the forest and started calling Lord Krishna. Because this is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Krishna came and accepted milk from him. And this became routine. One day finish, 2 days finish, 3rd day finish, it becomes so much routine. Ultimately, one day suddenly his cow died. And this guy went and asked Krishna, what did you do? I had only one thing which I am surviving on that one. And he made it to die. Why did you do that? I'm bringing the milk for you only. And Krishna smiled and says, actually that cow which died is already, given the milk for me. It's already gone to the Vaikuntha Loka. Don't worry about that cow. And I could have made that cow alive forever, but I did not do it because we have so much affection for that cow. Because of affection, you have to remain in the material world. Now today onwards, the affection is finished, and you're totally now depending on me. He can also come to, when they leave the body, he'll come back to me. That's what Krishna said. So in conclusion, he said, this human life, it's very, very important, very, very rare, and we should use this human life for the purpose of self-realization. How the devotee realize, like we should also realize one point, till now I enjoyed so much, I'm already now so much year I passed, enjoyed my life, it's so much, it's enough. You have to take on cut-off time, cut-off line, you do it, and you should realize the importance. Let me do remaining time in the service of the devotees. Let me read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me study the chant well. Let me do my activity very nicely, so that I can perfect my life. So I can achieve my it's like in human body is compared to the boat, and the whole material world is compared to the big ocean. To come out of this ocean, what you have to need? You need a nice spiritual master. He is compared to the captain of the ship. That famous sloka comes, Nardeham Adya Labdavan Sudrilabam Plavan Guru Kannadaram Mai Duman Sukena Krishnanugrahena Namasya Vate Na Tattamam Nishe Atma Hu. That means the person who doesn't understand, who does not use this human body for the crossing of this material world, that means he's doing the committing suicide. That means what means he's committing suicide for himself. Atmaha Suyuhu, the word comes, Srimad Bhagavatam. So thank you very much, all the devotees. I'm closing, already 40 minutes I'm finished. And it's very nice to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. And due to all your Sadhu Sangha mercy, and got this opportunity to glorify this particular sloka, Sankhya philosophy. It's very wonderful Sankhya philosophy. You're going to learn a lot of things in this Sankhya philosophy in coming classes, and keep attending classes. And thank you very much. Everybody, Vanchakapurvascha Kripa Sindhubhyo cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Guru Vaishnava Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.